Hi everyone and welcome to week 5. We are midway through the term, so well done so far on making it to week 5. And as you can see, week 5 is the middle week, so we have a midterm exam. Let's see what we have in store for this week. Well, we've done 3 drafts of paper 1 and we have the final draft which is due in on Wednesday as usual at 11:59. You also have the midterm to do on Monday. That has to be done by the end of the day on Monday by 11:59. You have quiz 5 which is number. We also have the next article to do, which is called Peddling Sustainability. You'll be able to use Peddling Sustainability in paper 2. And we have to look at how to write a concluding paragraph. So that is what is in store for week 5. Let's firstly look at the midterm. On Monday the 24th of July, the midterm will be open for 1 hour. Now you're expected to do about 45 minutes to 50 minutes of writing and then 10 to 15 minutes of editing. So don't write for 1 hour, okay? Spend at least 10 minutes looking over your work, editing it, trying to find mistakes. It will be on a related topic, so it will be on a theme of sustainability, and you'll be able to use a lot of the vocabulary that we've looked at in our articles. And other things that will result in a good midterm, I'd like to see that you can cite properly. So you will be given a piece of writing, and I'd like you to quote from that piece of writing. Not quoting will result in a lower score. Also, how to write an introduction, how to write topic sentences, and this week's theme is how to write a conclusion. So these are important. I want to see that you can do these, particularly the citation exercise, because that's been a little weak. Okay, what can we do to prepare for the midterm? Well, we looked at this a little bit last week. Firstly, and probably most importantly, know your errors. You've got a lot of feedback now on your diagnostic, on your drafts of paper 1, and you should have a good idea of where your paper might be weak. Maybe it's content, maybe it is a number, maybe it is tenses. Okay, so whatever those errors are, you need to know your top 3 errors so you'll be able to edit effectively for them. We've looked at how to structure a paper, and this is really important. I need you to be able to show me that you can cite, that you can introduce, that you can develop a paragraph, that you can write a conclusion, and also the vocabulary that we've looked at. It's nearly 25-30 words taken from the articles. You should be able to incorporate some of them into your paper. Okay, let's have a look at paper 1 final draft. So that's the midterm, and paper 1 final draft is worth 20% of your entire grade. Okay, so it's very important. Let's have a look at how it's graded. Well, you know, we lay the foundations. We look at content. I've talked to you, I've conferenced with you about this, and I've given you feedback on it. You should have a thesis statement. That's these are like the basis of your paper. Thesis statement is going to lead to topic sentences, which in turn will lead to quotes, quotation, citation, evidence. Okay, so slowly we're building up. And we should have laid all these foundations already in the 0 draft, draft 1 and draft 2. So now we're getting a little bit into the conclusion. Okay, we're going to look at that this week, how to write a good conclusion. Our grammar should be more accurate. We should be tightening up the grammar. You're all given a lot of grammar feedback on paper or on draft 2. Vocabulary, maybe try to add in some of the words that we've had so far. We haven't looked at analysis just yet, but you should be able to analyze your quotes a little bit more. Okay, don't be happy with just going on to the next point. Spend time with them, explain them to your reader. And then getting up, we have, do you have proper MLA? Have you done the peer review? And if you've done all of these things, you'll get much closer to the 20%. Okay, and getting that 20% is a major part of your grade overall. Now, if you have, say, a weak thesis, that will result in weak topic sentences. That might result in other things, being a bit shaky. Same way, if your grammar is a bit shaky, your sentences mightn't be easy to understand. Vocabulary analysis might be shaky. The whole thing can come crumbling down pretty easily. So make sure that you've laid a solid foundation to build on. Okay, very important. And if you're unsure of any of these, please, by all means, rewatch the videos because they will explain to you exactly what I expect. Okay. We also have Peddling Sustainability. This is an article that we're going to look at. This will be used in paper 2. Okay, and paper 2 is mostly about how to convince other people to do something. Okay, so you're happy with your sustainable behavior, you want to convince other people to do it. What's the best way to do this? We're going to look at this guy. This guy is Ramon Zavala, and he is in charge of transportation at UCI. As you can see, he rides a bike. Okay, and he likes to encourage sustainable transport. So how does he go about doing this? Okay, there's a lot of roads. Cars seem to be the main way to get around UCI. So what can he do? Well, he explains how he goes about doing it. And one thing that he's really a fan of is behavioral modeling. So if he wants people to ride a bike, he should be visible riding a bike around UCI. Okay, modeling to other people that this is a good way to get around. It's healthy, it's effective, it's good for the environment. Okay, so modeling is a good way to convince other people to do something. He also thinks that education is very important, and he runs workshops to educate people about how to ride safely, how to look after their bikes, how to be a good, effective cyclist around UCI. So that's the article that we're going to look at this week. It's quite short, should be very easy to understand, but should be very useful for paper 2. Okay, let's come out of that and let's move to Canvas. Okay, so this is the Canvas page for this week. As you can see, language development points are here. They're up for grabs. This is the last week. At the end of this week, I will choose the top 2 for language development points for vocabulary practice. So if you want to go in there, by all means do so. Moving on down. So tense was last week, number is this week. So please watch this presentation on number. Okay, many of you still have problems with it, and you can also look at the number rules from Writing Clearly, and there's a chart in Knowing Language as well, which you should look over. But the big thing on Monday is the midterm exam. Okay, make sure that you read it carefully and that you can use a quote effectively. Okay, it's going to be open all day Monday, but I need you to take it by Monday at 11:59 California time. Okay, spend at least 10 minutes editing at the end. Okay, there's also a number quiz that I'd like you to do as well. And before taking the midterm, have a look over your previous work. Make sure that you know your grammar errors. Okay, moving on down. These are flashcards, all to do with number. Okay, so these are the words which you might have, and you're going to decide whether they are countable or non-count. Okay, you can test yourself as usual, and try to, kind of like study these so you're familiar with them. It'll help you in the quiz later on. This is the quiz, the number quiz, and there's a number practice quiz here as well. Okay, number quiz should be taken by Friday. Okay, moving on down. Concluding paragraph is what we're going to look at regarding essay structure this week, so please look at that presentation. do some conclusion practice and incorporate it into your final draft. The final draft, make sure your peer review is done. If your peer review is not done, you will have at least 10% taken off your final draft. In addition to that, we have the pedaling sustainability, reading comprehension questions, vocabulary, and then a little discussion on modeling behavior. Okay, just before we get into paper 2 next week. Okay, so lots to do this week. It's a big week. We have the midterm exam, which I'll get back to you as soon as possible. There will also be a midterm revision, which I'll add in as well. You'll have to revise it the same way that you revise the diagnostic. Okay, that's about everything. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Good luck in your midterms, and I'll be getting back to you very soon with some results regarding that. Okay, all the best.